Friends, so let's start with create a language understanding model with language service. So first, let's see what's written here. So conversational language understanding model, uh, applications can use that to interpret language utterances from users, which is the text that is spoken or that is typed by the user. Predict the user intent. So user intent means what they want to achieve. So they will type something or they will speak something, so that is an utterance, and what they mean by that, that is intent. So like what they want to achieve, so they want to basically do some action or want some information, so that is the intent. And then identify any entities. So entities is like on which the intent should be applied. So entities are those entities, so those objects on which the intent should be applied. So these are basically intents. So like first of all, utterances, whatever the user types, then intent, whatever the user want to achieve from that or whatever the user mean by that utterance. And then entities are those objects or like those entities on which the intent should be applied. So for example, what is the time in London? In this, the London is an entity, and what is the time? So asking for time, so that is a intent. So get time will be a intent, right? And utterance is what is the time in London is the utterance. Get time is the intention, like intent, and London is the entity on which that intention has to be applied. So this is all, and right now we will be creating a clock application kind of language model, language understanding model. So let's start with it. So first of all, they are saying that go to azure.com, create a resource. We have to create a language resource. Then we have to create it this way, and then view keys and endpoint page. So I already have created that in my previous lab, so I will not create it again. So we already have that uh, lab L2QA in which we have that language resource. So yeah, so we have that language resource. So this is the language resource, which is from the resource group lab L2, right? So we have already created this resource and we will use this resource only. And the next thing they are saying is go to create conversational language understanding project. So then we have to create the project. So for creating project, what we have to do, we have to go to the language studio. So to go to the language studio, we will go to language.cognitive.azure.com. So language.cognitive.azure.com. So this will so by this we will land into that language studio, and I already have opened it. So yes, so this is the language studio and we have logged into this. So next thing what we have to do is we have to create a project. So create a project, and we have to create a conversational language understanding project, and then we have to name it clock, and the description should be natural language clock. So let's go to this, and these are my projects. So let's create a new project, conversational language understanding. Name of the project will be clock. Description of the project will be natural language clock. Okay, that's good name, natural language clock. And utterances primary language will be English. Enable multiple languages in project. We do not want to enable multiple languages, so we will uncheck that, and then we will move to next, and then we will review and finish, and we will create this. Now this project will be created for us, and then we have to start creating intents. So as you can see, the project has been created, and this is our page: schema definition, data labeling, training jobs, model performance, deploying model, and this is testing deployments. So all of these pages we have here, right? We can also see like this. So right now we are on schema definition, and we have uh, two of these here, intents and entities. So currently we have none intent. So none intent is a special kind of intent that means nothing, right? That that does not lead us to any action. So whatever the utterance is, if the model cannot get an intent from it, then it will be a non-intent. So that is, you can say, by default intent. So now next thing what we have to do, create intent on schema definition page. So we are on schema definition page. Intents tab, select add, and add a new intent and name it get time. So we have to create get time intent, and then also get day and get date intent. So let's add. So the name of the intent will be get time intent. So intent represent task or action that user wants to perform, its purpose or goal expressed in user utterance, right? So they are given some examples. So get time intent, let's add that. Then we have to add get day, right? And then get date, get date, right? That was the intent. Yeah, so we have added our intents. So these are our intents. So now we have to label each intent with sample utterances. So for that, what we have to do is, to help model predict which intent a user is requesting, you must label each intent with some sample utterances. So for each intent, we will have some sample utterances. So we will go to data labeling page now, and there we will select our get time intent and will enter the utterance what is the time. This adds the utterance and sample input for intent, and then we will keep on adding these utterances, right? So let's go to data labeling page, and in data labeling page we have this intent. Okay, you should select intent first to create an utterance. Okay, so let's select our intent get time. Now we have to write our utterance. So what is the time? Let's copy paste this, right? So yeah, we have this utterance get time. So next what we have to do, this adds the utterance as sample input for the intent. Add the following additional utterances for the get time intent. So filter view, you can see utterances for any set of instances and entities. Okay, so this is the filter view. So for here we can basically filters based on the intent, like which intent is there, so we will see only those. Save the changes after editing the utterance, you should save the changes. Got it? So now label entities, highlight the text and select an entity to apply it, okay, as a label for learned entity components. Alternatively, use the highlighter on the right pane. Okay, so this is a good thing to know. Okay, got it. So now, okay, so there are a lot of, use this pane to create entities to label utterances. Let's add more utterances. So what what is the time? What time is it? So we have added two. Now the last one, tell me the time, right? And then tell me the time. Now we will change the utterance, change the intent to get day, and then it will be what day is it, and then what's the day, right? So I think you get the idea. So let me pause the video and complete this. So I have added all the utterances for different intents, just using this thing, and then adding my intents here. So you can see there are a lot of intents for different, a lot of utterances for different and intents, right? So now the next thing, we can filter also. So if you want to see only the utterances for get date, so now only the utterances for get date are being visible. If you want for get day also, so now for both is visible. If you wanted to see only for get time, then it is for get time. So three utterances for get time. For get day we have four utterances, and for get date we have also four utterances, right? And see all, right? So for none utterances we we do not have anything, right? Because there is no utterance for a none intent, right? So let's see all of this. So we have created our references. So let's see what's the next step. Next, we have to save the changes. So this is very important. We need to save the changes. So let's click on save changes. So it's saving changes and it will save the change. Now train and test the model. So the next thing we have to do is go to the pane on the left, select training jobs. So we will go to the training jobs and then we will start training job, right? So now we'll click on start training job. So we will train a new model. We are not overriding an existing model. You can train a new model or override an existing model. Is the best for beginning comparing between the model performances. Overriding a model will replace the old model with new data, right? So we will be using a new model and we will name it clock. So we will name it clock, right? And the training mode, so we will be using standard training because it's free and it has quicker iteration and faster training time. If we will use advanced training, it is a fine-tuned neural network transformers model, right? So we will not be using that. We will be using standard training. And then data splitting. So automatically split the testing set from training data. So it will automatically split it into 80-20. So 80 for 20, 80% for training and 20% for testing. We select stratified samples from all the training data according to the percentage that you provide here. Any data already assigned to testing set will be ignored completely. So they are using the uh, stratified samples, right? So we can also use the manual split, right? So we cannot do the manual split because we have to label our data as test data and train data in data labeling section. We haven't done that, so we will be using automatic split, and it is using stratified samples. So each intent will have some portion of it in the training data. So it's not like some of the samples are not even there, some for the sum of the instances. So that's why it's using stratified samples. Now we have data splitting training mode, and we have named the model also. Now we will submit the training job by clicking on train, and now yes, you're seeing that training is in progress and it is on queue. So when it will be finished, then the status will be completed, right? So let's wait for a bit. So training job has been successful, so it has succeeded. So the next step is to see the model evaluations. So how the model has performed, what is the performance of the model. So let's go on model performance tab page. So here, when you enable evaluation during model training, you will be able to click on the model's name and view its evaluation results. So let's do that. Let's click on this. So here also you can see some of the things. So F1 score of intent, entities, F1 score of, and we didn't train entity. So yeah, we don't have F1 score for that. Training utterances were 9, testing utterances were 2, right? So it is telling me how the data was split. So there were 9 training utterances and 2 testing utterances. For intent, F1 score, it is 1. So let's go to the clock and see the performance of the model. So it's looking very good. F1 score is 100%, precision and recall is also 100%. So yeah, so guidance, not enough intent labels in training data, right? Because training set, so 3 intents with low data, missing intents in the test data, 2 missing intents, right? So that's the thing, that because our data was small, so that's why these problems were there, because this is for just for the testing purpose. So precision is basically how much correct our model was, and recall is basically how much coverage it covers, like how much does it found all the things or not. So that is what recall means, and precision is like how much correct it is. You can go to this evaluation matrix also. So precision is true positive divided by true positive plus false positive. So it's basically how much of the positive ones, like false positive is basically negative, right? So true positive, so how much it predicted positively, right? So that is the uh, precision, and this is the formula for recall also. And then F1 score is basically the combination of this. And then you can have this precision and recall for, you know, your different intents, and then for reply intent, send email intent, then for read email intent, then for different entities also. We have not worked with entities, but the same thing applies there also. So then for entities, so and then there's a confusion matrix. So yes, this is the models, and let's see the model performance. So 100% of everything. So it's good for a small data set, but like, yeah, it might be overfitting. Then test set details, right? So what is date today? Intent was get data, and predicted was also get data. And then what's the date? If we see this, so labeled as get data, and predicted was also get data. So that's why it's saying 100%. Then data set distribution, there is lot of problem in data set distribution. Confusion matrix. So this is the confusion matrix. So because it is small data, so that's why you cannot see a lot of these things. So after model performance, what we have to do, we have to go to deploying a model, and then we have to add a deployment. So now we click on add a deployment. We are creating a new deployment, and we will call the deployment production, right? And then we have to select the model, and our model is clock. And yeah, this is the regions. So select all, yeah, so the East US, the same region. So after this, we have to add deployment, create a new deployment name production, and then we have to choose our model which we have chosen. Then deployment may take some time. Once the model has deployed, select testing deployment page, then select production. Okay, so now let's deploy this. So it will take some time. So our model has been successfully deployed, and the deployment name is production. So now let's test our deployment. So we will go to testing deployment, and then we will select our deployment, which is production. And now we can enter the text here. So first text we will be what's the time now. So we will basically copy that and paste it here. And then, so this is the deployment name production. Enter your own text or uploaded text document. So this is what's the time now, and then we have to click on this, yeah, run the test. So now let's see what will be the result. So what's the time now? It's the time, right? So obviously it is giving with the confidence score of 89.54. The top intent is get date, which we know is incorrect because it should be get time, and the original text is what's the time now. So the confidence score is very high, but the label is not correct, the intent is not correct. So if we see the JSON also, so we can see here also for the get date it was very high, get day also it was very high, for get time also it was very high. So yeah, there was very minor difference in this confidence scores. So yeah, this is not correct right now. So these are the predictions: top intent, get date, project kind, intents, the query, and the entities, right? So now let's go to result. Yeah, now let's try with another. Tell me the time. So let's paste this here also. Tell me the time, and test with this also. Run the test. So yeah, this is very correct. So it is saying this with 100% confidence. And if we see the JSON also, so get time is with 100% confidence score, get date and day have very less confidence score. Then let's try the last one, which is what's the day today. So let's see what it predicts, and run the test, and we see this is also good. It is predicting get day and with a very high confidence score. And get date is similar, but like get time is has very low confidence scores. Obviously for none the confidence score was 0 in all the cases because there was some intent, right? So we have tested our deployment, but we have seen that we have not added entities. So now we will go to add entities, right? So let's start with adding entities. For adding entities, we have to go back to our schema definition page, and we will be adding three kind of entities: learned entity, list entity, and pre-built entity. So let's go to our schema page and schema definition page and try to add entities. So we went to schema and definition page, we went to entities, and then we will add entities, right? So here we will add the entity name. So let's see what's mentioned here. So first entity that we will add, and the only entity we will add, is location. So add an entity dialog box, enter the entity name, location, and ensure learned tab is selected. Then select add entity. So okay, we will select the entity name as location, and we will ensure that learn tab is selected. So learn tab is selected, right? Sorry about that. We have to ensure that a learn tab is selected. So let's see what this learn component is. So the learn component uses the entity labels. You label your utterances. So we will label entities in our utterances. So it will use those to train a machine learning model, and then that model will learn to predict whether entity is based on the context within the utterances or not. So like right now it understands that this position will be source and this position will be destination. So this is the machine learning model, and it basically learns from the labeled data. So that's why we have to label our utterances. So in the list, so list components is a closed set of related words along with their synonyms. So it is the set of related words in with synonyms. So it's just matching those words, right, and the synonyms. Pre-built is basically, there is a library of pre-built common types. So number, geography. So there are list of pre-built components which automatically detects, right? So that is what we mean by a pre-built. And regex is basically a regular expression. You define one, two, or how many regular expressions you want for your entity, and based on the regular expression, it will recognize the entity. So what these all are, like learned, list, pre-built, and regex, these are methods, different methods to extract entities, right? So right now we have selected our location name, entity name as location, and we have selected learned. So we will be using this learned component for extracting the location entity. So now let's click on add entity. So this will take time. Yeah. So learned entity is here. So regular expression list. So let's go to entity components. So these are the entity components, and these are the entity options, right? So this is our location entity. So this is entity components. So learn, pre-built, regular expression, and list. And this is something entity options we will look at for overlapping methods, right? We will look at this later. So now what we have to do is, the next thing we have to do is go to the data labeling page. So we will go to the data labeling page, and in the data labeling page, what we have to do, we have to add a new utterance for the get time intent. So let's add a new utterance for get time intent. So this is get time, and this is a new utterance. What time is it in London, right? So the when the utterance has been added, select the word. So let's add this utterance. So now the utterance has been added, we have to select the word London, and from the drop down list we have to select the location entity, right? So let's do that. So London, so we will add location to it. So London location, right? Now let's add another, tell me the time in Paris. Okay, and we will also, this is also for get time, and we will add this. Okay, get time, let's add this utterance to get time intent. And then for Paris we will add location entity. Similarly, the last one, what's the time in New York? So this is get time intent. This is also get time, okay. So yeah, for New York also we will add, this is a location entity. So utterance has added, select the word New York and map that to location entity. And now the main thing that we have to do is save changes. So now changes have been saved. And after that, we will look at list entity. So we'll again go to our schema definition page, entity tab, and this time we will add entity weekday. And this will be with list entity tab. So it's saved. Now let's go to schema definition again, entities. So you can see here we have labeled 3 of it, so that's why it's showing me in location that it has labeled 3. So yeah, so in location we have labeled 3 of it. So now we will add our new entity, which is weekday. So let's add weekday, and also we will use a list in this case, right? And then we will add this entity. So weekday, and this entity has been added. So this is a list one, right? So in this case, what we have to do, we have to add new list, right? So after weekday entity is there, right? Ensure that learn section is not required is selected, and then in list section add new list, then enter the following value and synonyms. So we have ensured that not required is selected. So it was required initially, so now it's not required. So now we will add new list in our list component, and this is enter value, type in a value and press enter, right? So let's see. So what we have to do here is we will basically have a list key and synonyms for it. So we have to enter our list key here, where this is the list key column and this is the synonyms column. So first we will enter our list key. So our list key is Sunday, and then our synonym for Sunday is sun, right? So sun, that's good. So we have entered it. Now we will click on save, right? So then in the list section, add new list, enter the following value and synonym and select save. So we will select save, and then this will get updated, right? Now we will add new list. We will do the same for another. So let's type here Monday, which is our key, and then we will type the synonyms. So for Monday it is only MON, and then we will enter, and then we will click on save changes. Then again we will add for Tuesday. So let's enter Tuesday here, right? So for Monday, then we will add synonyms. So for synonyms, it will be tu and tues, right? So tu and tues, right? So we'll use comma, okay? So tu, comma, okay. So tu, enter, and tues, enter. So yeah, we will press enter, then we will keep on adding. We could also tu, enter, right? And from here we can delete this, right? So this is how we will be adding tues. So now this list will be created. So as this we can keep on adding this. Observe here the list key is Monday, and the synonyms I just add mon, it also add Monday. So it will search these synonyms, not the list key, right? So let's keep on adding, and let me add all of these. So as you can see here, I have added all the weekdays on different pages, Friday, Monday, Saturday, Sunday. So all of these list keys are also coming in synonyms list, right? And for Thursday, you can see there are Thursday, thirds. All of these are synonyms. This is the list key and these are the synonyms. And now we will go back to data labeling table, and then we will add some more utterances. So let's add this. What date was it on Saturday, right? So we will add this. Okay. So for what date was it on Saturday? So it will be get day, right? So get date. Okay. Utterance is get date, but we have entity as Saturday. So now we will basically add this one, and with the Saturday, we will add entity as weekday, right? Then we will do the same for the other ones. Yeah. So what date will be on Friday? So this is also get date, and then we will add this for Friday also. So let me complete it for others also. Now I have added all the entities for weekday. So you can observe Thursday is also an entity for weekday because this is a kind of a synonym. And here if you by any chance make a mistake, so you can add it, like if you can select this, right, and you can click on add it. So now you can edit your utterance, or you can edit your intent also, or you can move it to another intent, right, or you can even delete it. So this is just want to show you that you can do this also, right? Now after that we have to go to add pre-built entity. So now let's go to schema definition again, but before that we have to save the changes here. So let's click on save changes. So this will save changes, and now we will go on schema definition page, and we will select a new entity name which is date, and we will use pre-built entity tab for this one, right? So let's go to schema definition, right, then go to add, then we will name the entity as date, right? So name of the entity is date, and now we will use pre-built, and we will add this entity. So let's add this entity. It will be added, and now we will ensure that not required is selected for learned section, and we will add new pre-built. So let's see this. So not required is being selected, right? So we should not put it required, and now we will be moving to pre-built, right? So we will click on add new pre-built, and then we will select the pre-built. So let's see what kind of pre-built they have selected. So we will select date time, and then select save. Okay, so now let's select date time. Okay, we can search here. So date time, yeah, and we will save this. So this is a pre-built one. So pre-built components gets your entity to extract common types, and one of that type is date time. We can add only up to 5 here. So right now we are adding only just one. So after that, what we have to do, uh, we have to save it, right? Okay, so select pre-built list and select date time, and then select save. Okay, we have done that, and then we will go on data labeling page and add some more intents and label it. So let's do it for one. What was the day? For the get day, go to data labeling, then choose get day intent and this, and add it. So now we have added it. So I think this is our date. So we will add the date entity. Similarly for another one, we will do the same thing. So now you can see I have added the entities. So it has different kind of formats, this format of data is different and this format of data is different, but we don't have to worry about that because we are using a pre-built you know pre-built entity, right? Pre-built. Okay, so before that we have to save the changes. So because we are using this one, so let's go to schema definition. So in entity, for date we are using the pre-built entity component, right? So you can see here there is learned and learned, so we have to disable the learned. So if we go to date entity, so required, this should not be required, right? So let's go to our schema definition. So these are the entities we have, and we can see that these are the entity components because we have a pre-built entity component. That is why we do not have to worry about how we will tackle the format changes because it's a pre-built one, so we don't, it is already automatically detects that, right? So now let's see what's the next thing. So we have to save our changes, we have saved our changes, and then we will retrain the model. So for retraining the model, we will again train the model, then we will see the performance, then we will deploy the model, and then we will test the deployment. So let's do all of that again, right? So let's go and train our new model. So first we will start training job. Let's, what model name we will enter this time? Let's see, the same model name, clock. So we will not override this. So we will override an existing model, right? So yeah, so we will override the existing model, and we will say the clock, the standard training. Data splitting is also automatic, we are not labeling it, right? And then we will click on train, overwrite and train, and then this training job is queued and it will be succeeded in few minutes. So let's wait. So training has been completed and training has been succeeded. So this is our new training job ID, right? So we have, now we will go to model performance as we have override our model, right? So let's see what's the performance this time. So this time we have more training utterances because we added more training utterances. So 16 training utterances and 3 testing utterances. And this is our F1. So this time F1 score is not 1, it is 0.33. Let's go to clock model name and see our F1 score. So yeah, F1 score, precision, recall, everything is 33.33%. Okay, still we do not have much data, but all the intents are present in test set, so that's a good thing. But there is unclear distinction between intents and training set. So 2 similar intents are there and 3 intents with low data, right? So we only have 3 intents, so yeah, all of them have low data. So now let's see the precision, recall, and F1 score. What's the model performance? So recall of 100 for get date, precision of this, and for yeah, 6 training labels, 1 testing label, 5 training, 1 testing, 5, 1 testing. So this is the recall score, F1 score, and precision score. So 0 is for because there are very less samples, right? So that's why. Now test set details. So tell me the time, the intent it was get time and predicted was get date. So that was false positive. Then what day it is? So labeled was get day, but predicted was get date. So this is also false positive. What's the date? This was right, get date, get date. So true positive. So only 3 tests were there. So that's why, you know, it is not a good training test, but yeah, for our purposes, it's good. Then data set distribution and then the confusion matrix. So this is our confusion matrix. So let's go to deploying the model. So now we will deploy the model. So let's add the deployment. So what will we name? We will overwrite an existing deployment name, right? So we will use production. I think they might be using the same thing. Override an existing deployment name, right? So now what model we will use? We will use the same model that we have overridden, and then we will click on deploy mode, deploy. So now this will deploy it. And what's the next thing that we have to do? We have to test the deployments. So we will test our production deployment with these tests, right? So let's see. So deployment has been completed. So we have override the deployment for production. Now let's go to testing deployment. Now select our deployment production, and now let's test with our first. What's the time in Edinburgh, right? So let's run the test. So what's the time? So get time confidence is also very high. It has also figured out the location, so that is very good. And this is the original text, and this is the location. That's great. Even in the JSON, we can see that get time has a very high confidence. Get date and day has a low one. And for the location also there was high confidence score, and it also basically tells us the offset and the length. So what was the offset and what was the length? The text and the category. So that's great. That's very great. So now let's see another. What's time in the Tokyo, right? I think this will also be very good. So yeah, we can see in the JSON get time has the highest confidence score. Other intents have low, and the entity also has a confidence score of 1. The offset is 19, length is 5. It also tells the text, and the category is also location. So that is also looking very good. Top intent and the location, and this is the original text. Now we can try this with the last one. Let's try with this one or this one. What was the day on this? So let's try this last one. Right, production, and let's run the test. So yeah, so it is day, it is about the day. So but the confidence is with get date, so it's not that great because it might get confused with this date, but it should not be there, right? So we are asking for the day. So yeah, what was the day was date. So yeah, entity is recognized very correctly, but the intent was not recognized that much correctly. Also, you can see get day and get date, they have very similar confidence scores, 0.95 and 0.96. And the project kind is conversation, top intent is get date. And for entities, so category is date, confidence score is 1. And then because we are using a pre-built, right? That's why pre-built method we are using, that's why it has other information also. Yeah, so we can try much of these also, right? So let's now move to our model from the client app.